Kelly here with another Lawn Fawn video, and today we are introducing some of our new lawn cuts dies that we created to go along with some of our older sets that are tried and true favorites. So we created some dies for Gnome Sweet Gnome, for Admit One, and for Sunny Skies. So we're going to go ahead and cut these out today and then make a really fun card using the dies. I wanted to show you the cool way that I started storing my stamps and dies. This is just a little pocket from Home Depot, but you could use a Ziploc or any other type of little bag. And I put the stamp set and all of the dies in that bag so that they're always together. So when I want to create with that stamp set, I know I'll have my dies. Here you can see all of the fun images from Gnome Sweet Gnome that the dies line up with. I love cutting out a bunch of images all at once that I've colored in front of the TV, just kind of relaxing, and you'll see how cute they look cut out. I love the little white border that the dies leave around the images. I just think they look adorable. So cute and ready to put on a card. I love how easy these lawn cuts dies are to use. All you have to do is take the die and line it up with your stamped image. Just have the edge of the die touch that black line of your stamped image and you are ready to go. I like to use a low tack tape like painter's tape or washi tape to hold the dies down while they go through the machine. That way they are perfectly in place. Just run it through your machine and you will have some super cute images here, all perfectly cut out and ready to go. One thing I love about the Sunny Skies dies is the cloud dies look great with the stamped image, but they also look great on their own too. So it's kind of two different looks, which I love because you just get more uses out of the dies that way. And here they all are. Here are the images from Admit One that have dies, and you can see how great they look all cut out. There are two dies in this set that also work well on their own, the ticket shape and the balloon. The ticket shape without the stamp ticket works as a cute little tag or frame, which is just perfect for like a little small sentiment, and the balloon looks really cute on its own too, especially out of colored cardstock. I love how the dies made cutting out something really intricate like the horses on the end of that carousel really easy to do. Now I'm going to do some fun Copic marker coloring, and I'm using Karen's techniques. I just loved how much I learned from Karen in that video, and so I've been practicing them a lot. So I wanted to use them, and I'll link to the video above too if you want to check that out. To color the clouds, I like to take a really pale blue marker or pale blue colored pencil or watercolor, anything like that, and just do a little line around it. It adds a little bit, but you still get that really great white puffy cloud look. One of my favorite size cards to make is a 3.5 by 5 inch card. So I cut a 3.5 by 10 inch paper and score at 5, and it's a really adorable small card size that fits really well in a standard size envelope too. I have my cute stamped and die cut images from all three of the sets today, and I'm just cutting here some little pieces of cardstock. I thought it would be cute to have some grass that was just using a scallop punch. So I'm just lining up a little piece of cardstock there, and I just think a scallop is a really adorable grass. I was taking a look at the card that was developing, and I thought it needed a little something extra, so I thought some pink to match the balloon would be a nice little frame for my blue sky and my green grass. I'm laying out my scene here with my little die cut pieces to see where my balloon is going to go, because we're going to do a cool thing with the dies. I'm taking some low tack tape here, and you're going to see me kind of stick it on my fingers, and I'm just taking off even more of the stick because I want to make sure that it doesn't rip my paper. So I'm using that balloon there as a placeholder so I know exactly where to place my die, and then using that washi tape there to hold the die in place and run it through my die cut machine. So now I have that die cut balloon there right in the center of my panel. And I'm going to take this teal panel and now line it up with that pink panel and use that as a guide to know exactly where to place my die. I'm using a pair of scissors just to move that die around until it's in the perfect place. And you'll see why I'm going to do this in a second, but it's going to be open all the way through the card, so it's going to look really cool. Now that the die is in the perfect place, perfectly lined up with the top panel, I can use that washi tape again and run it through my die cut machine again. Now you'll see that they are lining up perfectly, and we just have one more die cut pass to do, and that's through the card base. So I'm going to do the same exact thing where I just use that opening to help me line up exactly where the die should go, and I'm just using my scissors to help me place it in the right place. I'm going to hold that die in place, and when I run it through my machine, I'm going to make sure that my card is open because I only want to cut through the top panel because the balloon's going to be on the inside of the card. So I'm just going to go through and run that. And now you'll see that the pink panel is going to line up perfectly, and the turquoise panel, the sky and grass, is going to line up perfectly too. You might be wondering why I didn't just run them all through at one time. Well, I'm going to show you what happened when I did. My cardstock's really thick. It's like 100-pound cardstock, and the die just couldn't go through all of them, and then it smushed the washi tape down so much that it ripped my paper, and I just thought this was easier, and it looks really clean this way too. I'm adhering down all of my panels on top of each other, and then I'll use these as a guide so that I know where to place my balloon. I'm using some liquid glue on the balloon so that it's going to be a little bit movable. I'll have a little wiggle space so that when I put it through the hole here onto the card base, I'll be able to move it around just a little bit so that it's in the perfect place. So you'll see I'm just going to push it right through that opening and then just twist it a little bit so that it is perfectly placed. I just love this idea of having a die cut in the front and then the image on the inside. I'm using one of those extra die cuts that was left from creating that negative space. I'm just covering up the balloon so that I can stamp the little tail here so that it looks like it's coming out of the balloon without stamping onto my nice colored image. Now I'm going to use our set year 2. I'm going to use the happy birthday from it. And I love that all the images are separate. The belated is separate from the happy and birthday. So you could stamp it stacked or straight or just do happy birthday and take out the belated. It's fun to have some options. And now I'll stamp my greeting on the inside so that it's a really nice and happy surprise when someone opens up the card. I'm going to use some of the lemon lawn trimmings. It's a hemp cord to create the little balloon string here. So I'm just going to kind of see how long it should be and then trim it off. And then I'm just going to use some glue here, just a little line of glue to hold that lawn trimmings in place so that it's the perfect balloon string for our gnome. Now it's time to start adhering everything down and creating my card. And I just love how it's turning out. I had so much fun making this card and using my dies in a bit of a different way for me by creating a hole on the front of the card to showcase something on the inside, which I think is so fun and would be a really sweet surprise for whoever gets this card. So these are our summer 2013 lawn cuts to go with some old favorites. You can see them all cut out here, how cute they look. I love that they coordinate perfectly with the stamps and they make cutting out stamps like this that were really, really hard to cut out super easy now. But you can also use some of these dies on their own without the stamp. For example, the cloud looks great with or without the stamp. You can also do the balloon with or without the stamp. And the ticket makes a pretty cute frame you could put a little sentiment in or create a little tag out of. A little PS here with a fun storage idea. I showed you earlier how I keep my stamps and my dies together in these little pockets. You could use a Ziploc, anything like that. But sometimes I'll go ahead like I did here and color a bunch of images and die cut them out, but not necessarily have a card in mind. And so what I'll do is take all of these die cut pieces and just store them right with the dies and the stamp set. That way, the next time I want to use this set to make a card, I already have some pre-cut pieces that I could use in there. So it's a really fun way, especially if you just feel like coloring or something, to just take your colored images, die cut them, and then store them right with your stamp set. So thank you guys so much for watching and have an amazing day. Bye!